Well, we're officially 5 days away from Crown Jewel. Clash at the Money in the Bank. Or sorry, Backlash. Oh wait, what is it? Saturday Night Main Event. Oh, sorry, no, WrestleMania. Sorry about that, guys. I got a little bit confused because of the jobbery that's taking place. We're 5 days from Mania, and we just got another one of the worst Raw episodes of all time. And the funny thing is that instead of Triple H being the one doing long-term booking, I'm doing long-term booking, because I've been saying now, friends, we're about to hit the year mark now at this point, of me saying that this company was going downhill, of me talking about the simple fact that this product is garbage, and nothing was going to change as long as Triple H continued to book the way that he was booking, and now look where you are. This isn't something to be proud of, because quite frankly, I want wrestling to be great. It's a great medium. I want it to be at the best of its capabilities, like it was last year heading into Mania 40, which was awesome. But now look at the product. It sucks. It sucks. You have the main event of night one of WrestleMania is all built around a stupid favor. There's no story. I was sitting to myself wondering, why in the world did Cody and Cena, why did they have a cutthroat, one-on-one individual promo where they went at each other's throats on Raw in a 20-minute unfiltered segment? But for tonight, for this whole feud, this Roman Reigns and Punk feud, we have gotten no legitimate promos with all three men talking about each other and not Paul Heyman. We've got no legitimate cutthroat deep promos, and look at the talents we have on the mic and in the ring and as performers in this ring. Punk, Rollins, and Roman. And the best thing you can come up with is a Paul Heyman on a pole match for nothing. Yeah, okay, sure. This oh, man, it is embarrassing, man. Last year, we were getting ad-free first hour, ad-free SmackDown. The first hour of Raw, ad-free. The last hour, ad-free. The stars are showing up every single week. The final Raw before Mania was memorable. It was awesome. It was epic. The crowd was popping. You get what I'm saying? You had promos. You had segments building the Mania. But now it just feels like a taped Raw with dead crowds. They're silent the whole time except for a couple pops for the entrances and a couple cheesy chants. And now you're 6 days from Mania, and you're getting trash. That's all you're doing. WWE at this point is speeding it up and just trying to get through WrestleMania, and that's exactly what they should be doing, because they know that this is an embarrassment. Instead of chanting, "This is awesome, this is awesome, this is awesome, this is garbage," start chanting that, and maybe we'll get some change. Piper Niven versus Zelina Vega, and the crowd's chanting, "This is awesome," because of one DDT. Grow up. His fan base is ridiculous. Jey Uso comes out there, "Hey, Us, please, for the one time, play my music." Yeet. Shut up. What kind of mess is that, man? Anyways, the first thing we have to discuss is the fact that the world titles, okay, they're the world title for the Women's World Championship, the feud between, Naomi, Bianca, Rhea, and Io, okay, that feud gets no time on TV tonight. Nothing. No in-ring promos, no in-ring segments, no backstage segments, nothing. We get some thrown together video packages where they're all saying the same stuff they've been saying for weeks. It is embarrassing. A world championship match, and none of the people are live in front of us in the arena for the show. It is a joke. If you treat the world championship like a joke, why would we care for anything below that? Like the mid-card. Listen, the Intercontinental Championship, the Women's U.S. belt, and now the World Championship feud for the Women's Division are not on the show, and they're not gonna, or the mid-card belts are not on Mania, and the World Championship stuff is not featured on the show tonight. So why should we care about any of this? Why? Oh yeah, we don't. Hit my music. Let's get into this Raw review. Yeet. Now, 80% of my career, I've been champ. This is the words coming from Gunther, who opens up the show. He says, 80% of my career, I've been champ, and I will not let you take this from me. And then he says, I loved bathing in Jimmy's blood and feeling that, that amount of control that I have, and I'll call my mom next week in celebration of destroying Jey Uso in WrestleMania. This was actually a pretty solid opening promo from Gunther, okay? I like this. It had intensity, it had intrigue, and it was a pretty well-done promo for Gunther's promo cutting standards, In general, it was just a solid promo, but like for Gunther standards, this is pretty good. But anyways, what should have been 2 months ago with this, what this promo should have been, this promo should have taken place like 2 or 3 weeks after Royal Rumble. That's what should have happened. But instead, we're getting this 5 days before Rumble. Gunther doing his best segment so far, you know what I'm saying? Like a week in advance of Mania. It's a joke. But unfortunately, this is where we are now. We have to accept these things. This promo built no hype in me because it should have already happened like 7 weeks ago. And quite frankly, we know, right, that Jey and Gunther have done nothing to build this feud. They've had 2 good segments in 8 weeks. Thank you. Let's, then wait a minute. It's not even 8 weeks. It's 9 weeks, I think it is. Okay, so yeah, about 9 to 10 weeks they've had this promo, and Gunther literally talked about it on a podcast. He wanted to fight Jey fight Cena or Roman or Punk or Rollins, one of those greats, but he got Jey Uso, and he said that it's been a struggle trying to build a 10-week feud. So let me get this straight. Like I said the other day, Vince McMahon, who again, when someone won a Rumble and their feud was announced for Mania, their belt, everything like that, their championship match, the feud was on go mode for 2 months. But now Triple H apparently is struggling to book a 10-week program before Mania. But I'm supposed to believe that Triple H is cooking and everything's back. Everything is great. Everything's just awesome. Everything is amazing. It's not. Anyways, we get out of this segment, which was pretty solid, don't get me wrong, but it's a waste of time, and quite frankly, it builds no hype, and it should have already happened. So the quality of that segment was slightly downgraded because of those reasons. So there you have it. Then the next thing is Liv Morgan versus Bayley. Now, let me ask you guys a question. If this Saturday or this Sunday, we're going to get Liv Morgan and Raquel versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, why am I seeing two of the competitors fight tonight? It's 5 days in advance of Mania, and we're seeing the people we're going to see this Sunday at Mania, we're seeing them fight on an episode of Raw. This is why Mania doesn't matter anymore, because every single thing is a Raw match, a Raw or a SmackDown match. The only match that's on this PLE that you would never get on a Raw or never get on a SmackDown is arguably the Roman, Punk, and Rollins triple threat and the Cena and Cody main event. That's it. Every other match on this card is a Raw or SmackDown match minimum, or maximum, I should say. You get what I mean? So that's the situation with that. This match unnecessarily drags on with a bunch of botches and unnecessary bumps, and quite frankly, I do respect Liv, and I respect you, I love you, I need you. I respect them for taking these bumps in this meaningless garbage match, but quite frankly, the fact that this ended in a roll-up with more 50-50 booking from Triple H, which makes everyone look even, and everyone looks like a jobber, and everyone looks mediocre in the ring. That's what they look like. If you can't beat anybody with an actual finisher and an actual clean way, why in the world would I care that you're winning by roll-ups? And we're getting this match that means nothing, and we're going to get them again fighting on Sunday. It's all a joke. It's a farce. There's a slight brawl towards the end of the match. There's some shenanigans with Lyra and Raquel, but this match goes to prove why Mania isn't special anymore, because on WrestleManias now, we get Raw matches and SmackDown matches. Who cares about a Drew McIntyre and a Damian Priest, a Sin City street fight? Grow up, man. I can't stop thinking about Punk. That's the type of matches you're getting at WrestleMania. So there it is. Then we get Rey Mysterio versus Julius Creed. This match was actually pretty entertaining in my opinion. There were some good aerial moves. There was some good physicality, some solid counters. There were some botches in this match as well that were pretty embarrassing. But, I mean, it is what it is. Towards the end of this match, the Judgment Day and the LWO are barred from ringside. And then Michael Cole just basically sucks this entire match. He's just terrible. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee have been horrible on commentary the last few weeks, and it needs to be addressed. I don't care how long Michael Cole has been there. I don't care how long Pat McAfee's been there. They have been awful the last few weeks, and we know this. They're mispronouncing moves. They sound bored. They sound boring. They're unenergetic. And quite frankly, their jokes and all their corny little lines are not funny. They're not funny. Like, this stuff just isn't funny. These jokes are corny, their commentary is bad, and their energy is off. And quite frankly, their commentary sucks recently, okay? We get to the end of this match. It basically ends with Rey Mysterio beating Julius Creed, I'm pretty sure. But then after that, Chad Gable basically brawls with him, and then El Grande Americano stands tall. That's it. The fact that this Raw match is on WrestleMania further proves my point that this Mania season is a joke. And then I have to shout out the New Day because, out of everyone who was cutting these video vignettes and backstage promos tonight, the New Day's backstage promo was great, okay? They did a good job. The interview was fun. Xavier Woods and Kofi brought the intensity. They brought the entertainment value. They brought emotion to the promo, and they actually kind of sold this match for Mania. Now, it sucks that there's been no build for this match, but they at least tried with everything they could, and that's a lot more than you can say for the other jobbers that are on this card and that are in this, in this Raw tonight. So, there you have that. Then we get a bunch of nonsense stuff with Karrion Kross and AJ Styles. Listen, guys, Karrion Kross is going to be released. If WWE knows any better, he should be getting released. I hate to say it, but it's facts. Karrion Kross is not good. He's slow in the ring. He's choppy. His character isn't over at all, which is the most important thing. He's not over at all, and the fans clearly just don't find him entertaining, at least in the audiences in the live crowd. You understand? It's as simple as that. If you aren't succeeding at your job and your character's getting redundant and boring and it isn't going anywhere, then just like the rest of AOP, you need to get fired. It's just as simple as that. I mean this in all sincerity, but it has to happen. He's not doing good, and I don't know whether it's the booking or whether it's him. It's a mixture of both. Whatever it is, it's not working. Him and Scarlett need to pack their bags and head over to AEW or head over to LFG or head over to NXT and get the heck out of WWE. That rhyme, don't hate the player, hate the game. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's really that simple. But Logan Paul, on the other hand, and AJ Styles are goated, okay? AJ Styles is just awesome. Logan Paul is just awesome. I like the fact that Logan Paul is playing like this, this arrogant jerk character. He just plays it so great. And they even had him go out there on the mic and literally point them to a video promo showing how great he is and all his accomplishments and stuff. It is genuinely fantastic. I thought that was awesome tonight. And then he hits the pulverizer on AJ Styles. This was great. This might be one of the 3 matches at Mania that I'm genuinely excited for, alongside Cena versus Cody, and alongside Cena versus Cody, because that's about it. The only thing that matters, you understand, is Cena versus Cody. And then to me, I do want to see this match between AJ and Logan Paul. That's about it, because I know this match will at least be a banger. But outside of this and the Cena and Cody match, I don't care about anything else that happens. I genuinely do not. So yeah, this was a cool little segment. Logan Paul hits the pulverizer, stands tall, and that is it, okay? But one thing they need to do with Logan Paul, I will mention this real quick. Logan Paul needs to stop doing his feuds where it's all based around the fact that they don't want him in the industry. He's an outsider. They need to show him the ways of the business, like this stuff with him and AJ. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I'm able to acknowledge that this build for this feud has not been that good because it's been nearly non-existent. It's been awful, to put it nicely, okay? But the fact is, this is a match that's clearly thrown on the card for a fun, good, entertaining Mania moment type of match. That's all it's there for. And because Logan Paul has at least, tried to do good in the times that we have seen him, same with AJ Styles for this feud, you at least have the benefit of that, and the match is going to be a banger, so you're interested. You're not expecting a lot from this undercard match. Nobody cares about this, but it's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. But Logan Paul needs to do more feuds like the one with LA Knight, where they were actually feuding over stuff like legitimate personal shots and for a U.S. title, things like that. Less of this, oh, well, he's an outsider, I got to teach him how to get into this business. You're ruining our business. All this, like, stop it. Logan Paul's better than 98% of the people in that locker room. So just move on with it already. Anyways, then we get Jey Uso segment. I mean, this is just the same stuff. Jey Uso comes out and basically says, Gunther, you know what? I'm scared. You scared. You called me scared, but you scared actually. And I saw it last week. And now because you're scared, I'm going to beat you. And that's it. He proceeds to then do his signature thing he's been doing recently. And the crowd before this, they're like, one more time, because they want him to yeet and do all this stuff. They're going to bring this back, obviously. Once he wins the world title, they're going to have everyone next week and the week after is going to be saying, one more time. And that's really what it's going to be. We have to start accepting it, guys. Jey Uso, who's done nothing of meaning in ring over the last year, has had maybe 1 or 2 good promos over the last year. And on top of that, right, hasn't even, I don't even think he's really done anything of meaning in the, has he even wrestled anyone? I don't even remember, bro. He had like a 5-second match versus Austin Theory 2 months ago. Nobody cares anymore. And because of that, Jey Uso, because he has an over chant and a cool entrance, now he's going to win a world title. And you just have to accept it. You just have to, so it just is what it is. But Jey basically says that and then proceeds to hit his signature new thing. He's like, hey, Oos, for the one time, can you please hit my music? Yeet! And then he hits the music, the crowd goes crazy, and that's all you got. It is the most bot-level entrance and gimmick I've ever seen, but quite frankly, we just have to give him a chance. Maybe Jey Uso will cook as world champion. We really don't know until we see it. I don't think he's going to, but you know what? Crazier things have happened. I mean, Damian Priest was world champion for 4 months, so yeah, so it's like, who even cares at this point? Then we get to the absolute mess that is the Intercontinental Championship picture. Basically, we have a match between Penta and Finn Balor, the same match we got a few weeks ago. Again, in a fatal 4-way match that's at WrestleMania. Why are we getting a match with 2 of the competitors tonight? Why? There's no reason for this. But again, we've seen Braun versus Finn. We've seen Braun versus Dom. We've seen Penta versus Dom. We've now seen Penta versus Finn. So what is the point of a fatal 4-way? We've seen the combination of all these people already a billion times, it feels like. And now we're going to get this fatal 4-way. Nobody cares. Okay? Literally nobody cares. The match ends in DQ. There's a funny spot here with Carlito where he has to look away and kind of hide from the spear because he doesn't want to get killed by Braun Breaker like he did last week. But the truth is that outside of this little funny gimmick thing with Braun Breaker's superior athleticism and his, just craziness, he's absolutely amped up every single show. He's about to lose his mind. You know what I'm saying? He looks like annoying orange too with all that tanning, but that's not the point. The point is that this feud sucks. Dominic Mysterio has one singles match he has one victory in a singles match that's been televised in the last 8 months. One. And you mean to tell me that this dude is now fighting for an Intercontinental Championship that he's likely going to win by pinning Finn Balor at Mania? Finn Balor has, 2 or 3 singles victories in the last 9 months? Maybe 2 wins. It's probably stretching. He probably has 1, if not 2 then, I guess, But that's it. And these dudes, Penta's beat no one but Pete Dunne and Ludwig, and these 3 guys are fighting for an Intercontinental title. It is, and they're fighting against a champion who's barely defended and has barely done anything since winning his belt back in September or October. It's over. We have to start seeing things the way that they are. This feud sucks. This whole situation is garbage. I don't care about this match, and I don't care who wins it, even though I know it's going to be Dominic probably, but I still don't care. It doesn't matter. Dominic Mysterio isn't contributing anything. He's won 1 match in 8 months. So, who cares? Now we get to the main event. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and CM Punk are the main event. Why we had to wait 2.5 hours and through a bunch of ads and promos and videos and promos and backstage callbacks and all kinds of video recaps and the cap that, cap this, cap that. Stop. Give us a show that has no filler and is actually down to the point of professional wrestling. But that's too difficult. Why would they do that? Why would they give us that show? We know as fans of wrestling, that's what we're supposed to be getting, but we're not going to get that. You're going to get ads for Snickers, for TurboTax, for Minecraft, for some other garbage movie that nobody cares. Nobody cares, man. Grow up. Anyways, Roman Reigns in the main event comes out. He does his usual thing, okay? Before he comes out, he's basically walking to the ring, and, Paul Heyman's sitting there with CM Punk, and that's it. This feud, I kid you not, is embarrassing, and it is awful. If anyone actually sits there and tries to defend this feud, you are in denial. You are coping. This feud sucks. There is no legitimate story to this feud. There is a reason why every single Mania main event the last few years and just in general in the history of the company usually has at least 1 or 2 promo segments where the characters are strictly just bashing each other on the mic, going at each other's throats in a cutthroat, intense promo if the performers are good. That's what the lineage of Mania main events looks like. For this Mania feud, we have gotten none of that. None of it. CM Punk, his best asset is his mic skills, and he wasn't even on the mic tonight. He wasn't even on the mic. And if he was on the mic, what was he going to say? Nothing. Nothing. No one in this feud has anything to say because, quite frankly, there is nothing to say. There's no story. There's no story. Saying that, there's history here and we have a favor, we have a callback, we have a favor. That's not history. That's not a story. That's nothing. What is that supposed to tell me about this match? Why does Roman Reigns hate CM Punk? Why? Why does CM Punk hate Roman Reigns? Why? Why in the world does Roman Reigns have to sit here after defending a 4-year-long championship reign at last year's Mania, and now he has to do this meaningless garbage triple threat match? This is an embarrassment and an indictment on Roman Reigns' career. It is. In CM Punk, it's the same thing. He talks about main eventing Mania for a year and a half now and all this other nonsense, and he gets a night 1 main event in a triple threat thrown together match with no real story for nothing. There's been no elite promos from Punk on this road to WrestleMania besides 2 months ago. And, after the Rumble, that's all he has. And after the Chamber, I think he had one too, but that's it. That's all he got. CM Punk has nothing. He has absolutely nothing. Nothing to show for any of this stuff. To get a night 1 main event, and that's the corny behind main event he wants for Mania. Stop. It's a joke. And the only reason this is even a main event match at night 1 is because Roman Reigns is in the match. Nobody's watching a main event for Seth Rollins. Be real with yourself. Seth Rollins is great. Don't get me wrong. He's awesome. One of the best of the last generation. But he is not a main eventer at WrestleMania. He is not, and you know it. You know it. The only main event caliber people at WrestleMania are Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and John Cena. That's it. Anyone else who's in a main event, it's inexcusable. Inexcusable. And it's as simple as that, and we know this. It just is what it is. We have to start seeing things for the way that they are and call out this absolute corporatized BS product that we're getting week to week. This is the best thing you could throw together with these 3 great talents, Punk, Rollins, and Roman, guys who have defined different generations of wrestling. And the best thing you have is a Paul Heyman on a pole match talking about a stupid favor. Like we're in elementary school. Hey, bro, can I borrow your pencil sharpener so I can give you some Doritos later at lunch from the cafeteria? What kind of bum-behind stuff is this? We're talking about favors in 2025. Doing who will Paul Heyman turn on gimmicks in 2025. It's over. The redundancy, the nightmare storyline, this is garbage. I don't want to ever hear anyone talk nothing about this feud. This thing sucks, man. I don't even care what was even said tonight. Roman Reigns has his funny facial expressions. He delivers the lines great, and he's entertaining on the mic, and I get that. If the crowd was loving it, I understand that. But again, he brings up a good point. He says, I shouldn't have to cover for a favor that I didn't ask for. I've been going around and just taking things. That's what the bloodline does. We take things. That's why we became so successful over the years. Why would I ask for help? Why would I ask for a favor? And then Seth comes out and says, Paul Heyman left you by choice. He chose CM Punk by choice, and you have to figure out why he did that. And Seth basically says that the match is so important. It's the most important triple threat ever, allegedly, according to Seth Rollins. And he says it's the most important match in the history of WWE, and it's going to be the most important match to determine the future of professional wrestling. What is he talking about? Everyone in this match is above the age of 40, I think, or like 39 or 40 plus years old. What future are you defining? You're going to be out of the company in 4 years max. What are you defining? You understand? If you're fighting for something that's so important, why are you fighting for nothing on the line? Why? No one has the answer to any of these questions because it's not explained, because the booking is atrocious. So a bunch of 40-year-olds are fighting for a stupid favor, talking about it's the most important thing, because apparently Roman Reigns only shows up when it's convenient, and then CM Punk runs away whenever the going gets tough, which are good points, but it has no significance, because as much as they run away, the crowd is still going to be chanting CM Punk's name during Seth Rollins' matches and his segments. They're still going to be chanting OTC when Roman comes out, and Roman is still going to be the best and biggest star since John Cena in WWE. It's facts. So no matter what Seth says about part-time schedules or people running away, they're all bigger stars than him. It's over. Just be honest with yourself about it, man. It's done. It's done. So Seth basically says the business will die with people like Roman and Punk, at the top level. And he's like, he basically brings that up, and then he says that the industry will thrive if people like Seth, are at the highest level. And then Roman Reigns is like, you know what? I have made my choice because Seth, you're right. I'm going to make my choice now. He clotheslines Seth Rollins and then pushes Paul Heyman to the ground. CM Punk then comes out, pushes Roman outside the ring, and then Punk gets speared by Roman Reigns and then Roman gets hit by the chair, like the similar shot to the Shield when Rollins turned on Roman like a day, or what is it now, 11 years ago? Yeah. And then Rollins hits a curb stomp on both of them, and that's the end of the show. Stares down Paul Heyman, that's the end of the show. This feud is stupid, it is a disaster, and nobody cares about it. What is there to look forward to in this match? Huh? A couple of cool team-up spots? What, a shield bomb where Roman and Rollins work together for 10 seconds? Huh? Roman hitting a curb stomp? Seth hitting a curb stomp and a GTS? Roman hitting a GTS? Punk hitting a curb stomp? I mean, what is there to look forward to? Other than, this might be a good and a fun match. That's all it is. You have these three greats in the ring, and all you're getting is a fun match in 2 months of bad build-up. And you're okay with that as a fan. This is just embarrassing at this point. I'm done talking about this. And don't forget, there will be a WrestleMania 41 predictions video coming out tomorrow, okay? And that's just as simple as that. That'll be out. You might get another post tomorrow. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Who knows what's going to happen? But this Raw gets a 2 out of 10. This was a disaster. One of the worst episodes of Raw that I've ever seen in my life, 5 days before Mania. And if that doesn't put you in the Mania season yet, as Triple H would say, then I got 3 words for you. Well, actually, wait, no, I don't have any 3 words for you, actually. I didn't even know what I was going to say. But what I do have to tell you is that this Raw sucked. With everybody saying, Jax spits facts. Yeah! Thank you guys for watching. Have a phenomenal day. Peace out and one love.